few little changes. I asked him to get them to you, me.
Hey, Bev, somehow she lost her connection. Meg did. So
That's a good thing, because I just texted her and Diana both disappeared on me.
Yeah, they're trying to get back in.
We have you all on mute. That's just so we don't hear your background noise. What we're going to ask you to do is when Meg gets back on, we're going to have, if you have questions or need me to stop, just go ahead and type it in the chat room and Meg will let me know that you've got a question. That way we're not talking over each other. It's nice to see this many people involved in it, although I'm right now a little scared, so I may hang up early.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. So we've got Meg Noah from Geauga County is going to help with this. She's going to be running the screen. And we've got a sample that we're going to put on for the state report. Have most of you gotten the state report in Excel spreadsheet that was sent out? I see a lot of head shaking. Okay. If you did not, just put it in the chat room and I will send you one. I did a little work on it this morning. I have talked with Richard Cunningham from the auditor's office, and we went back in and put a little section for your bank reconciliation at the bottom, like used to be on the state report. If you're using the one, and I don't see Meg back on yet. How did she lose connection, H? Is Geauga having a bad storm up there? Howard, is Geauga having a storm or?
Looks like they lost their internet connection to the world. They're rebooting the server now and going to try to get back in.
Okay, we'll wait a couple more minutes because it's 9:57.
Okay, Bev, do you have a PowerPoint? Is that what she's going to show? You could send over to me and I can stay in here and run it for you if she can.
Yeah, I can send you. It's just an Excel spreadsheet.
Okay, why don't you go ahead and send it to Ohio Affairs, and we'll work through sharing this until they get back online.
Okay, you're right back.
Yeah, they have no connectivity according to Meg.
Did you get it, H? Morning, Mr. Dan Boland. How are you doing down?
I'm good. It's just started snowing a little bit, but
well,
we're good down here.
I'd say keep it that direction, but that's.
I don't think that's going to happen. I think you're getting some.
Okay. So Howard's got it up on the screen. I see a few of you have asked if I can. I'm not sure you can see that I'm here. Hi, Mary from Coshocton. I did not receive the report and it keeps jumping on my, I will send it to Rhonda, Sherry, and Shirley, and Beth. Oh, Beth's here. Okay. I will get it over to Richland, Tusk, and Albany. I will get those over to you. And Brian?
Hey, Bev, send it to me also if you can.
Okay, I will do that. Yeah, because the new one is, I know ODA put theirs out there. Nothing against it. This one is like 100 times better because when you put the figures in, it actually computes it on page 1. So we'll go ahead and get started. Howard, if you are recording, so
Yeah,
this
I'll
will
just
be,
advise everyone, you can see the recording up in the left-hand corner of the cloud there. So that tells you that we are recording the session, and I'll turn this over to Bev, and Bev, you make the call on when you want the screen popped up, okay?
yep, that'll work. Again, we have everybody muted so that there's not a lot of talking over and we don't get the background noise. If you have something, I'm trying to read the chats as they come in. And she does not have a picture, not sure why. Oh, I'm not a good computer guru. Looks like a lot of you would like me to send this to you, which is great. I'd love to send this to you because then we're kind of all using the same form, and that should help getting your Hinkle done. The one thing we have to seriously remember, guys, is this state report is still due January 8th. It's just as if you were going to Columbus and you would turn it into Emily down there. It has to be into the OFMA office by Friday, January 8th. The Hinkle report is not due until the end of January, but that, if this format fills in your Hinkle, all you have is your footnotes, and those are pretty easy to do after you've done your report, especially from last year. So this state report that we devised is an Excel spreadsheet. And Howard, if you want to bring it up, we'll kind of go down through it. What we did when we set it up.
Jog is back on, so Meg's going to take control of this, okay?
Okay. You back with us? There you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Hopefully I stay here.
Okay. Okay, so the first page of this report you'll see says financial statement. You just go in at the top and put like Mahoning County where it says name, and then underneath under county name, you put Mahoning. Then down where it says CY, it's for current year. So just take out the CY and put in 20 and you're good to go. That's all you do on this report. Do not change anything. Don't put any numbers in, nothing. Just change the heading for your fare. Down to the report master on the second page. There's your state report. Again, at the top where it says November 20 current year, November 20 past year. And you'll see I went in already and put the totals for 2020, the totals for 2019. When I do 2019, I mainly just put in like code 1700 total utilities. I don't put in the figures for each one. You can, it will do your math for you. So you could put in your, some of you don't do racing. We'll go down to exhibitor tickets, season tickets, admission. If you put those in 2019, it will total down. Meg, under 20, whoever, one more, yeah. Put in $10,000. There you go. And they have it rounding. They want them rounded. They don't want the pennies. So don't worry about putting in, odd cents on anything. You can if you want, but it's going to round it for you. And they understand that. So as you go down through and you put 5,000 in grandstand, Meg. There you go. It will keep the totals for you. So let's go back over, Meg, to column 1 and put this year we didn't have admission, we didn't have grandstand, we didn't have student. Just put some smaller numbers in there. Nope, over in the left side, operating. Yep. So grandstand had $500 and privilege fees had $500. you can see it's doing the math for you. So you only have to fill in column C. That's all you have to fill in. It'll do everything in E, and it does the math for you. It carries them over. So now if you go down to, I mean, it'll do it for every category. So if you just want to put some in, Meg, we'll. Okay, keep going down till you get to racing, which is the 1500 codes. Okay, your 1500 codes. And you know by your chart of accounts which ones these affect. In other words, if you go down, 1500 is one of the racing monies they want. The other one is, gotta find it. Oh, mine's too loud. Okay, so if you go into the 1500 codes and you pull mine up on my computer. Okay, so under racing income, you've got entry fees. If you had pari-mutuel racing and you had income, race tax, other, it will keep track of all that for you. So now go on down to the 2100 codes, because you'll just fill all of those in with your fees off of your trial balance. Down here under the 2100 codes, you know that's state and county money. So one column over, Meg, to the right. So you know you get $900 in operating fee. You get $1,000 to maintain your track. You get $8,000 to maintain racing purses. Whatever you get, that goes in there. If you get county aid, go down to the 2200 codes, and that's where you put your county monies that come in. The one thing that we did find when we talked to Richard Cunningham is the $50,000 that you got for junior fair. If you had a junior fair and you got $50,000, it does not go in the state column under junior fair reimbursement. It does not. He wants it in under the 3190, which is other support restricted. It doesn't go in the state column. It goes in your operating money, because that money was actual federal money given to the state to give to you. Do not put the $50,000 in state support. Your state support is just what you got, the check from ODA. Your county money is what you got from the county. If the county gave you CARES money, it also goes in 3190, which is other support restricted use. The reason Richard wants that is the CARES money was given to you for a specific reason. The 50,000 or 15, depending on whether you had a junior fair or not, was also given to you for a specific reason. Neither one of those go under state or county. They go under the operating money given to you, restricted use. So as you can see, when you put these figures in, it does the math. Now, if you go on down a little further, I put it in grant. Technically, it's not, Judy says she put hers in grant 3120, and it is not a grant. Richard says it is a restricted use sponsorship or restricted use monies received. So if you've got it in there and you filed your state report, there's nothing you can do about it now. But the auditor of state wants them under 3190, other support restricted. Judy says I already filed. That's fine. Just put a note on your file, Judy, so that if they come back and say something, you know what that was. Belleville, they're leaving faster than I can read them. Okay, so if you go on down, Meg, there at the bottom, you'll see there's your total receipts. What about capital matching grant? Again, that is restricted use, goes under 3190. That was not, he wants everything put under that other support restricted use. The capital money that you got, it's not a grant, it was restricted for a specific purpose. It wasn't just money that they gave you to do. I guess they did give you some of it to do whatever you wanted, but it still was restricted to be used by the fair. So the 50,000 from the CARES money, any CARES money from your county, and the 50,000 capital improvement grant goes under 3190 other support. So if you go down your total receipts, once you get all those numbers in, your total receipts show, here's column 1's the money that you brought in for your operating. Column 2 is state or county support. So that goes in the left column, 3190, not the center. Correct. Any money that you got, Chris from Butler, any money that you got for CARES money, ODA capital grant, or federal care money, so county, federal, CARES money, or the ODA grant goes under 3190. So second column, there's the money you received from the ODA as far as operating income. It automatically does your total for you. So you can see how you did compared to a year ago. So Meg, can we go to the chat? I see there's a bunch of questions out there. What about capital matching grant? Okay, so that goes in 3190 under operating money, because some of them used it for capital, some of them just used it. Doesn't have to go in state or county support. So left column 3190, not the center, correct. So only racing money goes under state. No, state money, if you got money for a junior fair, if you got state money for junior fair, on up, Meg, one more, up to the 2100 codes. Oh, there you go. This state money, up right there. See where it says junior fair? Meg just didn't put in that we got anything for junior fair. Some of us got $4,000. Okay, maybe Meg got 5. So, okay, so fair put your, what line do you other fairs, oh, wait a minute, it said, what line do you other fairs put your restricted livestock checks that you pay out to exhibitors? Restricted livestock checks. If you take the money in and it's restricted for a specific purpose, it should still go under the 3190. It is money brought in for a restricted purpose to be spent back out. Here in Canfield, we started a category under the 1700s that say milk checks. When we sell the milk that our milk producers ship from here, the money goes in there. When I pay it back out, I take it out of the account so that it zeroes back. So you can start a separate account, but for this year, if you did not put it under 3190, you'll be able to itemize the different things in your own set of books of what went into that account as far as CARES money, money brought in and paid back out to exhibitors. The PPP loan, we showed that as actual restricted income also. It was for a specific purpose. We did not go back and break it down to show income for rent, utilities, payroll. We brought it in under the 3190 code and showed it, but kept the paperwork that showed which categories it affected so as not to try to hide any of it.
Bev, what about the payroll protection loan money?
That's the PPP money.
Okay, so then the next question is, do I fill in column F with last year's info?
Yes, you should. You don't have to do line by line, but you can pull your last year's report and just put it in the total. If you want to be specific, do it line by line. It will do the math. Any place you see the bolder numbers and letters at the bottom, it will do the calculation for you.
And Mary, I think it's nicely said she did not receive this file. I think I can upload the file right now if you want me to.
Yeah, there's, I think 9 of them that want it.
Okay, let me see if it works.
You put PPP and EIDI in 3800 until forgiven. Decided that by looking at your description. You could put it, the PPP under 3800. They recommended that you at least show that you got the money, and that would work. If you put it under 3800, we went ahead and we got verbal that ours was forgiven, so we put it under restricted use. What line? Only racing money goes under left column 3190, not in the center. What is the capital matching grant? I'm trying to go backwards and read them while Meg does that.
I think if I stop sharing, I think I have to stop sharing the file in order to upload it. So once you're done, I can upload it into the chat.
Okay, Meg will upload it. Again, if you don't get it, get a hold of me or Meg, either one. We both got it.
Hey, Bev, just send me the file. I've got the updated master of all the new officers, and I can load that out to each of the contacts.
Well, I sent you the file, H.
Okay, well, okay, so does anything else go in this or just what's here?
You want hers?
I-
Yeah, it's the one that says Ag Society 2020 shell that I sent you. That's the one that we want to use.
Okay, I'm gonna send it out now to our new list of contacts.
Okay.
Somebody said we placed the portion not forgiven under 3800.
You can do that, and that's fine. It was my understanding that most everybody had theirs totally forgiven. So I send you my condolences if they did not forgive you. Message. Okay, so we'll go on down to expenses, Meg. I'm going to move this over. I think I will. There we go. Expenses are exactly the same. You can put your numbers in the right-hand column. Meg, can we go over to 2019 and put, you can see up at the top, it's got the calculations in there for you. So you can either override that. What I do is I save this file as the shell. That's why it's called the shell. Then I go back in and put my figures in, because if I would happen to lose my computer, or if I decide that I want to go back and put all the numbers in, I can do that. I still have a shell. Next year, unless they change anything, I just bring the shell up and start over. So Meg,
We've got one more question. Will the same format work for both ODA and Hinkle?
yeah, the ODA, this is the ODA state report. This is the state report. The ODA that posted theirs out there does not break it down and do the math this way, and it will not fill in the Hinkle. This one, by doing this, will fill the Hinkle in. And
then Chris from Butler County asked, my understanding is the amount of EIDL would be deducted from the PPP forgiveness.
Could be. I have no idea about the EIDL because we did not have that. I can, afterwards, I can always give you Mr. Cunningham's number if you want to double check with him.
And then somebody else is saying, yes, that is what happened to us. EIDL grants 10K or less are reduced from forgiveness.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
And Diana saying, yes, they are.
There you go. That's why we've got, okay. I called the other expression on this is the Hinkle.
She said, I call the ODA and the Excel spreadsheet on their site is the Hinkle. They actually told me that was the form I used for OFMA also. So I assume that wasn't correct.
I could not get the one from the ODA website to work correctly for me. So I went back and used this one because this is the one the auditor of state and us worked on. I have more confidence in it that it's going to do what the auditor wants.
The next question is, where do you report the VLT funds from the OHHA?
Okay, so if you go back up to racing, you've got in the 1500 codes, you've got entry fees. You can put it under other racing receipts and in parentheses behind it, put BLT in column 1, because that's. So I put it there. And then if you go over to B,
What do you want me to do?
yeah, go over to column B on that line. No, not D, B as in boy. There you go. Up at the top, you see it says other racing receipts. I just went behind that up on the top and put BLT.
But what? VLT,
Yeah,
like that?
because that explains what that money is.
And then Mary nicely has said, are you saying that we do not have to fill in the Hinkle like normal? We just turn in this form with the notes.
Okay, no, I'm not saying that, Mary. You want to go down to the bottom and kick over to the financial statement, Meg. There you go, Mary. There's your Hinkle report. You can see by the numbers we've already started to put in, it's filling in the Hinkle report for you. This is the Hinkle report that the auditor wants. And they have, we sat Diana Cochran, sorry, Paul Harris and I sat and figured out which columns needed to be in which title for the Hinkle. So this works way better. So back over to your report, master. We're going to go down through and do a few wages. Howard says he forwarded the file out to the current contact list. It might not be accurate since some fairs are still registering. If you don't get it, get a hold of me or Howard. We'll get it out to you, no problem. And Melissa, that's awesome. I don't know what's awesome, but you're awesome, Meg. Atta girl.
I think
Okay, so
that's about you, Beth.
let's do a few expenses, Meg. So put a little bit in ground maintenance. There isn't a secretary gets paid. Brian says, so to be clear, the report master is for the ODA. The tab that says financial statement at the bottom is your Hinkle. Correct. You're right, Brian. And Melissa says, no, the Hinkle's sweet. Okay. Okay, so we now have wages. Workers' comp. Any of you that got a negative in workers' comp, Meg, put a like minus $400. And then, yeah, I don't know if any of you, none of us pay any of this stuff. So you can leave that. Because if you paid workers' comp and you got reimbursed, like in our county, they just reimbursed us 300% of our 2019 premium. So we're going to have a negative in there. It's okay. Just put it in as a negative. It's fine. Director's expenses. Go ahead and pick some numbers, Meg. So you can see it clearly is doing the math for you. Trophies, track supplies, other. Okay, so in your harness racing classes. Now I gotta find track maintenance. Okay. So we've got down in track supplies. Okay, keep going, Meg. You're good.
Let me go down.
No, go ahead. Go with office supplies. Oop, up a little bit. There you go. Okay, yep. These are all your utilities. The 7,000 codes are the utilities that you pay. And we all know in your state column, whatever your income is, your expenses have to match it. Okay. To answer Beth, yeah, the reimbursement would be next December, but we got one earlier in the year also. We got one about August. We got a partial reimbursement. Our big reimbursement came in December. So yes, it will show on your next state report, but we did get a small one earlier. Okay, your raise tax, if you didn't raise.
There's another comment. There was a memo that went out that told you to put the workers' comp in another area if it was more than you paid. I'm looking it up.
Okay, send that out to me, Chris, when you find out. Raise purses. Okay, so if you go down to raise purses, Meg, if your total raise purse was $20,000. Go back up, Meg, to your 1500 code. How much of it did you say you got from the state?
You want me to go up, way up?
Yeah. The 1500. Okay, so you said, keep going, not the 15, sorry. I'm looking at the wrong one, the 2100 codes. There you go, up. Okay, you said you got $8,000 for racing. So you paid out 20,000, you got 8,000. So Meg, put 8,000 in column D, 12,000 in column C. And you'll see over in the total, it says you paid out 20,000. 12,000 of it was the society's donation, 8,000 was state. Has to be that way. Go down to track maintenance, Meg. You know you get $1,000. Nope, next one over D. You get $1,000 from the state there. So if you put in 1,500, you got to put 500 up. You only get to put 500 because your total in column E is going to be the 1,500 you paid. So whatever your income is on the top, you have to show using it for your expenses. So go on down, Meg, and fill a couple more in on each of these so we can show where it carries over. You know, most of us didn't do advertising this year. This 7,600 codes, that is repairs done to equipment, vehicles, buildings, and others that is done by someone other than your regular staff. It is what they call contract labor contractual repairs. So if your maintenance staff under the 6,200 code, 6,400 code, depending on, I've got mine set at 62, but if you're used to 6,400 code for maintenance, that's stuff you do in-house. The 7,000 code is stuff that you contract out. This is your insurance. Again, if you paid, which we shouldn't pay property tax, go down to liability. If you paid liability insurance and you got a rebate back from your insurance company, I have them separated on my trial balance, but for this, you would only put in the net amount that you paid. So if you paid $500 or $5,000, whatever you paid for your liability, you want to show the net amount there. You can show what you paid minus your rebate back or the lowered amount. Okay, one down, Meg, and these are miscellaneous expenses for the 7,800s. 7,900 codes are going to be your capital improvements.
We have a couple questions.
Okay.
It looks like, what about the BWC refund money? Did you already go over that?
Well, the BWC refund money, when I set my chart of accounts up, BWC is a 50/30 code in my QuickBooks. When I get rebates, my code is 5030.99. What that does is I keep my rebate separate, but I have it all going back to the 50/30 code. So I show the net paid for workers' comp. So if we put a negative 400 in here because, for an example, maybe we got money back a little bit more than we paid in 2019. When I do my QuickBooks complete run of accounts, anytime I get a rebate, I have a 0.99 at the end of the code so that I can keep track of all of those. So I still showed 50/30 as my workers' comp. If it was a negative amount, I showed it as a negative amount because by rights, that's what it was.
The next question is, I carried over the senior fair money to next year because we didn't have a senior fair. So balance at the end, right? Question mark.
Correct. Your books have to close for 1 year, even if you carry them for the next year. Those of us that kept concession money, it showed as concession income this year. It's not going to show as concession money next year. So that would be the same for your junior fair or your senior fair. If you kept the money, you'll balance at the end.
Wyandotte County said, I missed where the BWC money went. I have it right here on the screen.
Yeah, 50/30 is where you normally would expense out the BWC money that you spend. If you got a rebate, again, I put a 0.99 behind my numbers so that in my QuickBooks, I can keep track of them. It would be a negative. That's why Meg showed she got $400 more back than she spent out in 2019.
And then one more question from Brian, 7610 equipment repair. Where do we book parts we purchase for our people to use for repair?
Okay, if you actually bought the parts and your people repaired them, it goes under 7470 is where it is on the report. I'm sorry, 6470, which is grounds maintenance.
60.
Things that you buy for your staff to repair is grounds maintenance. If I had to call the tractor guy to come and repair a tire because I couldn't, that's contractual. That goes under the 7800s.
So you're saying any equipment purchases go under 6470 ground maintenance if you're.
If they purchase parts to fix their own machines, it is considered grounds maintenance.
Okay.
I've got mine broke down. I know whether it was a tractor, a truck, landscaping, I break ours down so I can follow it, but it totals out to that 6470 code. Then if I have to call somebody in to fix it and they go get the part and bring it in, that's contractual. That goes under this code here: equipment repair, motor vehicle, buildings that repaired, others. And that's how the auditor has the chart of accounts set now. 7600s are contractual items that cannot be done by your staff on your premise. And I am more than willing to share my chart of accounts with anybody. The way we've got our chart of accounts set right now is my numbers mimic the state report. So when I print out the trial balance, we simply have to draw a line, total those columns down, and that's what goes on the state report. Because that way, if I have to go back and research it, I just double click on it and QuickBooks brings it back. I can tell you what entries were put into that account. Okay, Meg, on the 7800 codes, there again, this is stuff that you hire out.
Did we lose her?
Muted.
Oh,
Sorry, I had. Okay, I'll call LB. Wait a minute. Sorry about that. I had a phone call.
Judy Cronley asked you to send her the chart of accounts, and then somebody asked, were the changes made to the code of accounts already discussed?
We sent the chart of accounts that we changed really did not, Diana, correct me if I'm wrong, we did not really change any of the codes on the chart of accounts. We wiped out accounts that most fairs never used, haven't seen them used in a long time. So what we did is I talked to the auditor. We're going to get a different
Manual.
kind of upgraded chart of accounts, and I can get that out. I asked him not to change it till after the state report was done.
They want a printed version.
So
Mm,
would you, I'm trying to see where, that was the change.
Wait, Diana, there you go.
Okay, so if you go to the state auditor website, go under resources and manuals. Under manuals, the uniform system of accounting for agricultural societies is there.
And we really did not change anything. We took off some that were never used.
I can't hear what you're saying.
Diana, we took, right, we did not change anything.
Diana, would you send me that link address for that file and I'll send it out?
Did, okay.
You're
Yes.
muted.
We can, if she sends it to me, I can put it in the chat too, if you want. You can put it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah, and anybody that is interested in mine, I'm trying to go back and see Suzanne from Muskingum, Ottawa, SWI Hart. Shirley. Okay. Yeah, nothing really changed on the chart of accounts from what it's been in the past. We changed a couple of the descriptions to more clarify, but we did not change the code numbers because everybody's books were already set. So, but again, anybody that is interested, Brown County. Christy's on. Hi, Christy.
Looks like Chris sent the BWC info to Howard. I'm assuming that's what he means by the fair's email address. So I don't know if you have that, Howard, to share.
Okay. Sherry is secretary. Meg, can you print out these chats when we're done or no?
I mean, I think we can. I've never done it, but I'm hoping since everyone's putting their email addresses in there.
Yeah, because I'm trying to write them as fast as I can, so, but that'll be
I
good.
can save the chat. I mean, I can save the chat.
Okay.
So yeah, I think we'll be okay.
Okay. Okay, so on down, your land, building, motor vehicle equipment, capital improvements. So if you made any improvements to your grounds this year, Meg's gonna fill those in. Okay, for any of you that have loans, interest, mortgage, your senior fair judges expenses are your 9100 codes. That's senior fair, which we're going to say was virtually, well, some of us did buy ribbons this year. Okay. Contest fees. For those of you that aren't sure, if you look at the chart of accounts from the state, that's your pig iron derby, your sheep shearing contest that you have on your fair. Your junior fair expenses, Meg, why don't you put a few of those in? Because hardly anybody had contests. Everybody bought ribbons this year. Your 9,400 codes are just minor things that you did other than senior fair, junior fair, or a contest. Very few fairs use them. Some of them do put some in if they don't have them broke down between junior or senior fair. Your check write-offs, hopefully you don't have any bad checks. You can put reimbursements in under 9720, but it's not recommended because that number can get to be cumbersome and very hard to track. Same with refunds. When we do our refunds, we usually use a 0.99 code because if it's a concession refund, I want to be able to know it was concessions.
Sorry, I don't know if you want to go back to this, but Chris
Okay.
saying, if I can keep it up, it is basically says any amounts received in excess of the original premium payment would be unrestricted and could be receipted in the general fund.
Right, and we are receiving them in the general fund. We put them under restricted, but it still gives you the option to use them as you want. For
And then-
BWC,
Yes.
yes.
And
Yeah,
then,
by just lowering the amount you paid does put it back in your general fund.
and then Ellen is asking, what line would we put any money expenses paid out from capital improvements money?
Any monies paid out, capital improvement, what?
She just has $2 signs.
Okay, your capital improvements are your 7,900 codes. So if you did land, building, bought a vehicle, bought a skid loader, other capital expenditure.
Does that answer your question, Ellen? In the operating line, she put.
Correct, in the operating, not the state funded operating.
Okay. Okay, we're good.
Okay, now, the only thing you gotta remember, Meg, go back up to your state money received, your 2,100 code. Okay, you got 900 for general operation and 4,000 for junior fair that you haven't spent yet. So you gotta get rid of those. The general operation money for 900 can be used either to offset supplies bought, senior fair board, repair parts. It's money given to you for general operation. So we know we have 900 of that and $4,000 that you received from ODA because you had a junior fair in 2019. So Meg, go down to your 9,000 code. Okay. Yeah, you got, well, you didn't spend enough money. Okay, so say down at 9320, Meg, put $5,000 in there. You spent $5,000 for ribbons. Go to column D, 4,000 of that was state money from ODA. So you want to go back and put your $1,000. So your total over here, you spent 5,000 in ribbons, 4,000 of it was state money, 1,000 of it was fair board money. You spent $900 of state money on senior fair ribbons, because remember, you're allowed to use it. So if you put 900 there, you want to go over to column C and put 4,100. You still spent 5,000, but you have to use the 9,000 that the state ODA gave you. So if you go on down to your bottom now, whoop, there you go. See, excess cash over disbursements is at 0. You spent everything that the ODA gave you. Now, if you go down a little further, starting with column 273, I put in the calculations for you to balance your checking account, etc. It was not in on the original one. We put it in there. So you just have to fill those blanks in from your bank statement. And Meg, we have a couple of questions.
Yeah, Michelle B, the beginning account balance and ending account balance dates are incorrect. I contacted the auditor's office about it, but it hasn't been corrected yet. We cannot change that date.
Sure you can. And the one that you get off of me, you can. If you get it off of mine, you can. Meg, do you want to show them how?
You mean up here?
Nope, 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 down here, the beginning and ending balance, line 268 and 270. Nope, there you go. Up to the top, Meg. There you go,
What do you want me to change it to?
19. It was 12/1 of 19 to 11/30 of 20. There you go, your new dates are correct. Okay, and again, from 273 down, that's just a rough draft. You can change those titles, put in what you want. You know, I don't know, it's the same format that was on the state report. I just have it doing your calculations for you.
Dean Blair is asking, how do we get this more recent version with Bank Recon? We're working on emailing that out to everyone. I think Howard just did it.
Yep. Howard's gonna see that those contacts for each fair get the newest version. And
And once I'm out of this file and not sharing my screen anymore, I can upload it into the chat too. I should be able to.
okay, now go back over to your financial statement tab, Meg. And voila, guys, you have now finished your Hinkle report. It balances to what your state report says. All of the numbers are where the auditor wants them. You're done. So just by doing something that you have to do for ODA, which is the state report, we've simplified it to do your Hinkle for you. No thought necessary, no change in the figures because the state has correlated. And Meg, just for giggles, go to the senior fair, go over to column B. Nope, back over, the financial. Go down, see where the 5100 is? Nope, right where you're at. Back up.
What am
Back
I
up.
thinking?
Go back up. See where your cursor is on line 26?
Yeah.
Click on the, there you go, guys. Don't mess with those figures. See all the equation at the top? We have sat and figured out which columns, which totals go into the cost of the senior fair. So you don't mess with anything in column B on the Hinkle. The auditor and Diana and I have it set where we want it. So when you do, if you go
Bob,
back,
you have a new question. Sorry, I forgot what line you said to put the 50,000 for capital improvement income. This is Bellevue Fair.
okay, the 50,000 capital improvement goes under code 3190 for the income. I'm assuming she's meaning income. I forgot what line to put the 50,000 for capital improvement income. Yes, it goes under 3190, other support restricted use. That is where Richard Cunningham, the auditor that's been working with Diana and I, want it to go. That's why it's got such a large number. We got 50,000 from the capital improvement. We got 50,000 for CARES money, but that 50,000 was actually federal. So that's why he does not want it in column D. So, and then Meg got 12,000 from her county to use towards COVID. So we got 120,000 in other support for the fair. Howard, could you send this report to Richland? I think you may. Oh, someone, don't have a nervous breakdown. It's easy. So again, on the Hinkle, don't mess with column B. We've got it set, and down at the bottom, you'll see it said your total excess was 58.6. Meg, if you go back to the report master, down at the bottom, that number will match what you've got there is your total. So you don't have to worry about it. Again, the state report is due January 8th. So Howard will get this out. He already sent it to the contacts. Meg's going to try to send it to the chat room. If you don't get it, it's bev@cantfieldfair.com. Simply email me and I will send you over what we call the shell. It has the reconciliation in the lower corner. It'll come pretty much blank, but again, you can see you just change the top to November 30th, 20 current year and 20 past year. Other than that, we've tried to change everything. Maybe Meg, I'll go back in and change my beginning and ending cash balances. But again, you can change those. Those are easy. We just ask that you don't change the equations, because when you start messing with those, it affects the other report.
We have a couple more questions, Bev. Ellen's asking, so same line for improvements in federal junior fair, but different columns. Do this take place of the book we typically send in?
So same line for improvements and federal junior fair, but different columns. Federal money, no. Okay, so she lost me. Now the federal and the federal money that you got, the 50,000 money that you got for CARES for not having a regular fair, but having a junior fair, goes in operating money. The capital improvement money goes in column C, operating. They both go in the same column, the same line. And does this take place of the book we typically send in? You still have your first pages to do. Those are listed on the ODA website. You have your front page that has well, the cover sheet, and then your date that your election was held, what officers, their phone numbers, then the list of all of your directors is page 2. Then this file picks up the rest of your state report. So you'll still have your cover sheet to do, page 1, which is the date that your election was held, your officers, their contact information. And the next page, which is page 3, is a list of all of your directors that were on the board during the reporting period starting 2019. Your junior fair report has already been sent in. Don't forget to send samples of your tickets if you had memberships, and those are all due to the state by the 8th of January. So you can email them or snail mail. If you snail mail, for goodness sakes, make sure you get return receipt, but you can email it. So if you've got a way to get it done, scan it all in, email it. What I do when I email it to my own personal one so that I have a record that I got it, that it went out.
Ask ODA for a return, yes, I received reply.
Yeah, when you email, make sure you ask ODA to reply that they got it. Morgan, not very often Emily anymore, but Morgan has been kind of replying that they got them. So make sure when you send it, again, I send it to myself and then I ask for a reply back from ODA when it's emailed. Any more with snail mail, who knows when it gets there. Do you put your bank?
Yeah, you have that question. Do you put your bank account monthly service fees under 8090? Our auditor won't let me because it's under 8,000 debt service and it's not a debt. I have to use the 9790. She doesn't like the debt wording.
Correct. I use 9790 for mine also. I use 9790 because 8,000 is a debt service. That's not what that's for. It's other miscellaneous expenses. And I put my bank fees, my uncashed checks. If I have any NSF checks that haven't been collected, they all go under the 9700 code. And Muskingum County said the same thing. Yeah, by right, you're 8,000. And with the new chart of accounts, when I talked to Richard the other day, we're working on some wording to try to clarify it. So when we print out the new chart of accounts, it'll give you a brief description of some of the things that should go in some of these accounts. You know, like the debt service, what really should be in there, like the contest fees, what really should be in there, which contests are considered for those expenses. And it's not that you guys are doing them wrong. It's not. If you're getting the money in there and it's balancing, it's just categorizing. And it is confusing. They have a lot of columns and they've got a lot of ways they think Diane and I tried to convince him there's a different way of thinking when you're on a fair board and you're doing the books. When will the new chart be available? I asked him not to send it out until after January. We're hoping to do another session. I told Richard that him and Diana and I needed to be together one more time. We'll end up doing it with Zoom to make sure that we're comfortable with some of the changes that they've put in on the wording. And I'm expecting not to do that until after the first of the year. So I would assume that once we get it done, we'll go on the ODA website, I hope. But I will see that Howard gets it so that every contact in OFMA can get it. Well, it's been about an hour. I can't tell you guys how happy I am that you attended. Is there other questions that we can answer? Meg, do you want to try to go out of your screen and see if you can email this out to everybody that's here? But don't lose your chats. If you can print them out for me.
Yeah, I mean, you want me to close out the file?
Are there any questions that Meg needs to have the files opened? Hopefully we have not confused you. I mean, just by doing your state report the way we are, if it fills in the Hinkle, you're one step closer. So, what is Bev's email? My email, it's really hard. It's bev@cantfieldfair.com. So it's bev@cantfieldfair.com. So don't use the ODAX. There you go. It looks like Meg downloaded it to the chat if you can get it. It's up to you. If you want to use ODAs, that's fine. We're trying to get everything kind of standardized. Is that a word? Uniform? There we go. And the fact that if you could put the figures in here and it will fill out the Hinkle the way the auditor wants, we're trying to show the auditor we're working together to do this, and we're willing to help them if they're willing to help us. So far, they have stepped up and said this would make their life easier. So if we can do it, that would be good. Tuesday, February 16th, 10 a.m. Understanding the chart of accounts for county and independent ag societies. I guess I'm doing another one. Here we go, guys. February 16th, 10 o'clock. So we will try to have the chart of accounts to you in plenty of time for that. Are there any other questions that we need to be looking at?
I'm gonna upload it one more time because I just saved with those dates fixed.
Okay.
Okay, let's wait. I gotta close it first. Hold on.
And Bev, this will be one of the continuing education classes. There'll be a certificate available. So that'll satisfy some of these auditors' requirements, not all of them, but some of them.
Okay. Okay, so again, I am here. I am only a phone call away. My phone is on 24/7. I don't mind calls, evenings, weekends. The idea is to do this to help everybody. No panic attacks, no stress. Well, no more than we already have. I'm here. If you need me, call. Christy knows that because I try to help her all I can. It isn't easy all the time, but you guys are doing great. And I want to make sure that you're comfortable with any of these questions. So call me, email me. I don't care. I'm here for you. It's been an hour, H. If there's no other questions,
Bev, are you sharing your phone number?
oh, what the heck? It's out there anyhow. If I find it on a bathroom wall, I'll know who put it there.
What is it?
330-502-3146. There you go. Again,
Hey,
it
Bev.
is on all the time if you guys need me.
Hey, Bev, I've got a couple things before you let the group go.
Okay, hang in there, guys. H needs us.
Hey, to everybody, greatly appreciate you being on the call today. Just a reminder, memberships are due. We sent out a pretty big blast yesterday. I had 71 of you that were in the process, and I appreciate you getting those into us. The continuing education classes that'll start January the 5th, our memo that went out, they'll also be in the newsletter, which I'm hoping to get out yet, hopefully tomorrow. It keeps bigger in regard to everything virtual we're going to do. And lastly, I greatly appreciate your patience with us. This has been a trying year for all of us, both at our home and our county fair and our business and with the Ohio Fair managers. And again, we appreciate it here. And Teresa and I wish all of you a Merry Christmas.
From Canfield Fair, same thing. Merry Christmas, everybody. H, thanks for putting this together. Meg, you and Diane rock. Thanks for all the help. Meg, if you can print these off for me, I'd appreciate it. I'm trying, but I haven't found it yet. So,
I'm trying to, I'll email you the chat.
okay, that'll work.